Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And today I am just sipping on a little water here because hydration is always important. Yes, yes. But what is also important is my mugs. Yeah, cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. A panel full of cup mugs. Did it, did it, did it, did it, did da 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 da. And you can get your cup mugs at lanatescreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, so there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period. And we are here. We are back. We are back to talk about episodes 5 and 6 of Battle Camp. Things are getting a little bit more intense, and I am excited. It was all fun and games until it's not, right? And that is what's happening here at Battle Camp, and I cannot wait to talk about it. Things are heating up. But before I jump right into Battle Camp, y'all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button on the bottom of this screen. It's free to do, and it'll help us out immensely. We are on a mission here at the Cup TV to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. And that mission has leaked out amongst all of the channels here at the Cup, under the Cup umbrella, under the Cup network, where all the channels are trying to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. So if you would be a dear sweetheart and subscribe to this channel, then go into our descriptions and click on our link tree and click on the links to all of our channels and hit the subscribe button there as well. I mean, we have content coming from our drag or drag race channel at the Cup Pod, which right now we are featuring morbid drags, which is Mexican horror drag. If you have not seen that, if you are interested in drag and you love the art of drag, that's a show you want to check out because there's some great Mexican drag that is happening there. Horror drag, if that's your thing. So check that out. And we're also getting ready to, we're revving up for All Stars 10 over there. We have all of our cast assessments for the three brackets out right now on the channel. So go check that out when you get a chance, if that is your zhuzh. If you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, we got a lot of content coming your way from Eurovision because this contest is coming up very, very soon. And so we're going to crown a champion of Eurovision very soon. And so all the content coming out of all the songs and all the qualifiers and all the national selections and all the things are out on that channel. So if that is your thing, check it out. Subscribe to that channel, hook it up. And if you are a fan of WWE wrestling, WrestleMania season happened last weekend, and we're coming off of the backs of that into joining the next road to WrestleMania now. But Backlash is coming up in a couple of weeks, so we're going to be talking about that over there. So if WWE wrestling is your thing, join us at the Cup ringside as well. And if you need to follow our audio podcast links, because if you just have to check us out on the go, you don't have time, you're always moving, but you still want to get that information, that link to our audio podcast links is in the description below as well as our Patreon. We got a lot of fun things coming your way in our Patreon, so check that out as well. Let's get into it because, baby, a lot of things were happening on the last episode going into this episode. So let's let's get it together. Let's bring up everyone so you know. Yes, I'm so glad I didn't even put the banner thing back on there to cover Trey's face. But speaking of Trey, uh Trey had been very busy in the last episode trying to make sure that his name would not be on the wheel as many times as that he possibly thought it could be. And honestly, I wasn't that mad at it. I said in the last episode, I'm not that mad that Trey is trying to play this game because that's what we're here to do. You're here to play a game, and you have to be here in order to play the game. And in order to be here, you have to be on the wheel less times than other people. And so he was trying his hardest trying not to get on the board as much. So he made a deal with Polly that if she didn't vote for him, um, and vote for Louis instead, Louis will have more votes. He would not. It'd be more likely that someone else would go home instead of him. I mean, because they had just seen that your name only has to be on that board once for you to go home with the whole Gabby situation. So it didn't matter if his name was on there 15 times. Well, it mattered. But if his name was on there all, which it was, he had a vote on him. So it was already he was already at risk, but he just didn't want it to be more than what it needed to be. And so after he made that vote with Polly, they go to the wheel and we find out who gets votes and who doesn't. Nick ends up getting 7 votes. Louis ends up getting 3 votes. Bree ends up getting 2 votes. Morgan has 4 votes, and Trey has 2 votes. So those are the way the wheels worked out, and the names on the wheel. And Taylor spins the wheel, and unfortunately, the wheel lands on Louis. Louis out, and everybody. Trey is sad. He knew what he did, but he didn't want it to land on Louis. He was hoping it wouldn't land on Louis. Bree is devastated because she's about to lose her cuddle buddy, and yeah, people are mad that Trey did what he did, so people are upset, and like Louis shouldn't be going home, and but Louis took it better than pretty much almost everybody else, except Polly, because she kind of wanted Louis gone anyway, so it didn't really matter that much to her. I'm gonna talk more about Polly later, but Miss Polly, I see you. Um, so people, Louis gave him the deuces, hugged everybody, and was like, he was like, "These my bruv." Talking about Trey, my bruv, love you, bruh. And he was gone, and everybody's looking at Trey like, "Oh, that's your brother." But you did okay, okay. And I'm like, "Hello." Yeah, he did that. Why wouldn't he do that? It doesn't make any sense. It wasn't like Trey prevented himself from being on the wheel at all. He was already on the wheel, and he ended up being on the wheel twice. So he wasn't out of danger. And Louis was only up there one extra time more than him. Like they act like if he would have been up there 3 times and Louis would have been up there 2 times, the roles would have been reversed. That's not guaranteed in a will. It doesn't work like that. So they were all very mad at him. For what reason? Like, why are you mad? I don't get it. I don't understand. You're mad because he's playing the game? Okay. What did we all come here for? Actual summer camp where we make best friends, have s'mores, and write each other and promise to write each other long, long letters when we go home? No, it's money on the line here. We're here to play a game and to make some money. And that is what Trey is doing. He is playing the game and he's just being open about campaigning about things. And he's just like, or doing his best to try to make sure it wasn't him. I am not mad at a band for playing a game. I'm just not. And anybody who is mad at Trey, I'm just looking at you like, for what reason? Why are we mad that this man is actually playing the game? That is what we were here to do. We are here to play a game. Take it for what it is. But all that aside, it's not over. It's not over because Taylor announces that it is going to be a double elimination. And so Louis' 3 votes, 2 spots are now black. And we're gonna spin again. So guess what? All these people who are mad at Trey, it's another chance that he goes home here. And they are just again, don't understand. But the wheel goes. This was heartbreaking. I am not going to lie. The wheel happens and it falls on Bree. Unfortunately, Bree follows Louis right out the door, and she's kind of like, I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not that mad because I don't know if I would have been able to do this without Louis. And now that he's gone, it's just kind of poetic that I go out right after him. And I'm just like, oh my, I was so triggered. Not gonna lie. Not going to lie. I was so triggered because this wheel just gave me very much like, okay, Lana, remember the games that you played? And the wheel would come for your neck and then come for your ally's neck. Like it was giving me very much that. Did not like it at all. But Trey, I mean not Trey, Louis and Bree go out together. And it was kind of, I won't say poetic justice, but it was kind of Romeo and Shakespeare, except they don't die. They just leave together. You know, whatever. Um, and it was just ugh. It was just a lot of like annoyance with people, a lot of people upset with Trey, and Trey feels very isolated in this moment because it's like um you just you just did that to your best friend and you were standing there and you felt bad about it, but he went home because you put his name on the board one extra time. And everybody felt was like ostracizing him about it because he didn't know that everybody knew. But yeah, everybody knew what he did because Polly told everybody. Polly told Gio, Gio told his camp, and Polly told her camp, and everybody just knew. Everybody just knew, except Louie and Trey. They didn't know that they knew, but it was crazy. It was a tense night, to say the least. Everybody was just like, I don't know, I don't know. We just gotta do, what we gotta do. Um, hmm. But the next day, well, they were told that the game was about to change and that the teams were about to go from 3 to 2. So the Wolves camp has been eliminated because the Wolves have been decimated at this point. Trey and Morgan are the only Wolves left. And so we are now going to go to 2 teams of Bears and Eagles. And the next day they are told to go to the river or the lake, not the river, go to the lake to meet for the next challenge. I mean, people are still mumbling and grumbling about Trey at this point, but I really don't feel like they need to talk about it because honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're so mad at everybody playing the game. But they're just talking about how they didn't like Trey, blah, blah, blah. So they are mad. They're asked to go. They're mad at Trey, like I said, and sad about Louis and how he campaigned to save himself. And I was just like, what? Whatever. But then the campers are instructed to go to the lake for their next challenge. And that is when they find out that Chase and Kyle have now entered the game. They are the last 2 people to enter the game. There will be no more people entering this game. This is our top 12. Chase and Kyle are now going to have a tug of war because they are also the captains of the team for the next challenge. But they have to have a tug of war to decide who's going to pick first in picking their teams. Chase wins the tug of war. Chase is from Too Hot to Handle and Perfect Match, so he knows Georgia. Kyle is from the Circle, who went to the finals with QT, so they know each other. Um, so it was kind of like, okay, we kind of know where, the allegiances will lie in this situation. But Chase wins for the Eagles, and he picks Georgia first, and then Kyle picks QT first. Then Georgia gets to pick the next person. So of course she picks Lorenzo because she wants him on her team. So she picks Lorenzo and QT picks Gio. They've been Bears, they're Bears. Um, then Trey, I mean then Lorenzo picks Nick and Gio picks Avery and Nick picks Trey and Avery picks Morgan and then Trey picks Polly, which means she is on the Bears team again. So those are our teams for the Bears and the Eagles. And so we're on to the challenge. The challenge is that they are going to have a spelling bee, but the spelling bee with a twist. They will be people participating in the spelling bee will be on this big old inflated launch pad. And if they spell their word correctly, they stay dry. If they spell it incorrectly, they will be launched into the air and into the lake. And so, okay, let's talk about the spelling bee though. Some of these words, I mean, I'm pretty decent at spelling. I'm pretty good at spelling. And I was like, oh, these words are pretty easy. Like all these words seem very elementary, very, nothing that I would have had trouble with. But I wasn't in the situation of being scared or nervous that I might get launched off this launch pad either, especially if you're scared of heights or water or you're not a good swimmer or there's a lot of things that could mess with your mind, or if I ever mess this up for my team, a lot of things could be on your brain when you're trying to spell and being put on the spot. Some people don't handle being put on the spot well. So I'm really not like, oh my God, I can't believe these people messed up. Kyle gets up there and messes his word up right away. Um, Chase gets his correctly, so the Eagles are already in the lead. Lorenzo misspells, does he misspell his word? He, no, he spells his correctly. Yeah, he spells his correctly. Morgan spells hers correctly. Um, Nick spells his correctly. Georgia spells her word correctly. Polly misspells her word. Yeah, Polly got her word wrong. Uh, I did say Chase got his right. Yeah, Polly got her word wrong. Georgia got her word right. Lorenzo got his word right. I think it's right. Um, Nick got his word right. Trey gets his word right. Gio gets his word right. Uh, Kyle gets his word wrong. Avery is at this moment, she's contemplating if she should throw it, if she should throw it so she can lower her threat level. And so she's contemplating on if she should throw this challenge or throw her word and get it wrong. And that's where they left us at episode 5, where Avery's like, it would benefit me to do it and not, show my threat level, blah, blah, blah. And so that's where we left off at episode 5. So going into episode 6, we are back where Avery is contemplating back and forth on if she should or if she shouldn't throw it. She ends up not throwing it and she ends up spelling her word correctly. And then QT goes, and her word is advantage. Now, again, I think very easy word. You should be able to spell advantage if went through high school well enough. You should be like advantage, ADVANTAGE, advantage. But I also see where you are in a situation where it's a lot of pressure. You could misspeak, misspell, just whatever. So QT misspells advantage. I personally don't know how, but she did. And she says she did not throw it. So all we can do at this point is believe what she said. She says she didn't throw it. Um, so I'm like, okay, she said she didn't throw it. She didn't throw it. She's like, I just messed up. My mind went blank. It is what it is. And so we see instantly Avery and Gio are like, how could she mess that up? And I get it. Like, it's the easy word. How do you mess it up? But nobody batted an eye when Kyle got his word wrong. Nobody thought he was throwing it. But when QT does it, she messes up. She's automatically throwing it to make her threat level seem low. feels like a lot of projecting to me was happening with Avery. Projection was strong with this one because she was like, "Oh, she threw it. She threw it to make her threat level low, and she wanted people not to think that she would, that she's not as smart as she is. She's doing that on purpose." The exact same thing you just contemplated for about 10 minutes. Hello, projection much? But okay. But then Shuby gets down there and his word is ecosystem. And somewhere in his brain, he heard ecosystem. So he says ECHO. And they're like, nope, wrong. It's ecosystem, it's ECOSYSTEM. And so when Shuby messes up, they're like, oh yeah, Shuby just messed up because he's afraid of heights. He had a lot of nerves on his brain. He was, hello? What? Isn't Shuby smart? Isn't he smart too? But when Shuby messes up, it's because he had a lot of pressure on him and he was nervous about the heights and he didn't want to do that and he's scared of heights. So he was nervous. He didn't. Hello. What? So QT does that, messes up, and she automatically is throwing it. Kyle messes up. He was nothing. Crickets. Shuby messes up. Oh, it's because he was nervous about the heights. He doesn't like heights. He didn't, he don't want to fly. He's just nervous. It was he heard wrong. You asked Shuby, he heard wrong. You're fine. You're fine. And I'm like, hello. What do you mean? What absolutely do you mean everything is okay? Shuby's fine. He messed up because he was nervous. Kyle messed up because why? He's not smart enough. Okay. But QT messes up and it's because she's throwing it. Hmm. Is it because you thought about throwing it, Avery, and then you couldn't imagine other people not thinking like you? What? How, it was at this moment I remember why I didn't particularly care for Avery even on the mole. Stuff like this. She assumes that things that she say is correct, and that's just it. That's just it. And I'm just like, you didn't even ask QT. You didn't even like we go back to camp. The Eagles win, by the way. The Eagles win. So all six players are going on the wheel from the Bears team. But there is no immunity. So even the Bears could be end up on the wheel this time because there's no more immunity for anybody. So there's that. So we get back to camp and Avery decides, first of all, her and Gio go talk, and she's like, I think QT is throwing this because she wanted Shuby to pick up the slack and then we still win. And she didn't want her threat level to be high. So I think she's throwing it. And Gia was like, that makes sense because she's so much smarter than that. Like, why would she not do that? Oh, I just don't like that. Like, she really just did. She threw us under the bus as a team because she thought Shuby would get it and he didn't. And he messes up and we lose. And I'm like, okay, but then why are we not mad at Shuby as well? But, okay. We'll think about that. Think about that. Think about that. But nobody said anything to Shuby about him messing up. Nobody said anything to Kyle about him messing up. But it's all QT's fault because she messed up and she obviously was throwing it. Obviously, that's what the case was. So now they're both assured that they are right in this situation. They are right. QT threw it, and we're about to make sure everybody knows. Hello. Hello. So she goes on her rant to anybody at camp that will listen. She goes and tells everybody. She tells them all. Like QT through that competition because she was trying to make her threat level low. And I I just can't trust that in my own team. That's just crazy. I just don't like it. Why would she do that? She tells everybody. And people are like, some people are like, that makes sense. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. And other people are like, huh, That don't seem like QT. Huh. That's where'd you get that from? Ah, seems very mastermindful to you from to me that you coming to me with this gossip that you don't really know is true. You're just saying it because weird. Huh. So she tells Polly and Geo, well, Geo tells Polly and Shuby what Avery was saying. And Polly is like, oh, she said that? Oh my God, QT is throwing challenges? That's wild. And Polly said, In her confession, she goes, now, if I stir up some trouble against the Bears, and if I let it get back to QT, what Avery is saying, that's going to have an implosion with the Bears. Hmm. Mm. So Polly goes and tells Kyle because she knows Kyle and QT are close. And so she brings Kyle and she tells Kyle that Avery is telling people that QT threw it because she's trying to diminish her threat level. And Kyle is like, what? Why would she say that? Like, I don't. And she's like, I know. That's what she's telling everybody. She's just going around telling everybody who will listen that that's what's happening. She's like, oh, okay. He's like, okay. So he immediately goes to tell QT because, of course, he was. But we find out. Oh, also, I skipped a part. We find out they had a grill night, and we find out that Morgan doesn't like anything but junk food. She doesn't like food. She doesn't like food. So, but that's going to become relevant at a later time. So stick a pin in that. But just know Morgan doesn't like food. She just likes junk food. Um, and then they also find out that the next day, they found out the next day that it will be a double elimination again tonight. So keep that in mind. So back to Polly telling Kyle, and Kyle goes and tells QT. So QT is like pissed off because she's like, I did not throw it. Kyle is like, did you throw it? She was like, no, I did not throw it. I literally blinked when I got up there and I just couldn't spell the word. I did not throw it. And he was like, and she was like, and I'm annoyed because she wouldn't even come and ask me that. And that's just crazy because now she gets people thinking that I did that and I didn't. And it's frustrating. But by this time, it's time to vote. So people had already made up their minds who they're voting for and they go vote. And Lorenzo is one of the people who was like, I don't believe that QT would do that. That doesn't make sense. And Avery just seems to be on this anti-QT campaign. For what reason? It doesn't make any sense. And so Lorenzo and QT are talking about it in the bathroom, and she's like, she didn't even ask me about it because she knows she couldn't, if I told her the truth, it wouldn't fit her narrative that she's trying to spin about me. And so I don't like it. And Lorenzo's like, I didn't think so. Like, this was so stupid. Like, she was literally doing an anti-QT campaign against you. And so he was just like, I don't know. So we get to the wheel. We get to the wheel, and we find out who gets votes. So Chase ends up getting 2 votes against him. I think it was Shuby and um I can't remember who voted for who, but I know it was Shuby was one of them. I want to say Morgan, but I can't be sure. Probably was Morgan. Shuby and Morgan. It was Morgan. Shuby and Morgan voted for Chase. Kyle has 1 vote, just the vote that he originally got. Morgan has 1 vote, the original vote that she got. Geo has 1 vote, the original vote that he got. Trey comes up and Trey has 3 votes. And he's a little shocked. Like, wow. And so Taylor is like, the host, Taylor is like, you seem a little shocked and a lot of emotions went through your face when you heard that, when you saw your name. He said, do you have any idea who voted for you? He was like, and Trey was like, not really. And Gio goes, I voted for you. And Trey is like, wow. And so Taylor's like, any reason why? He was like, because Louis deserved to be here. And Trey was like, oh, and I don't. And he was like, mm, mm. And so then Avery jumps, pipes in, I voted for you too. And he's like, wow. And she was like, games are exposed when you actually have to go beg people to vote for you. Like, you didn't, no, like, you, what you did to Louis was low down, and I don't trust that. And your game is getting exposed, and I don't like it. You're being deceitful and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here like, say, what, son? Excuse me, ma'am? What are you talking? He's being deceitful. He's being dishonest. What? And what are you doing? Some of them, I don't throw my teammates under the bus. Hello? What did you? Okay. What do you mean you don't throw teammates under the bus? Oh, I didn't know you. I thought and blue were teammates. I just thought blue and blue were teammates. I thought y'all all bears. But maybe you're a polar bear and she's a grizzly bear. Maybe it's different bears in the camp because hello? Hello. But she was like, and your game's been exposed, blah, blah, blah. So it was like, whatever. Whatever. They didn't like what he did to Louis. So then it's QT's turn, and QT and Nick. Nick gets no votes, and QT gets 4 votes. Has a total of 4 votes on the board, and because she's like, I'm probably going to get some votes tonight, and um, she's like, and then so she gets her vote, and then Avery pipes up and is like, it went in the background like, "Ooh, people's games are getting exposed tonight," and Taylor was like, "Avery, you say something?" She's like, "No, no, I didn't say anything." So it looked like you said something. She's like. And so QT was like, I mean, somebody here was has been spreading misinformation about me throwing a challenge, which I didn't. Um, and so this person has been spreading misinformation around to camp, and apparently some people believe the lies that she's saying, and she knows who she is, and she done it this time, and it probably won't be the last. So it is what it is. And so she goes back, and Avery was like, I didn't vote for you, QT. She was like, yeah, whatever, but you made sure other people did. And so Taylor's like, what y'all talking about over there? Taylor's so messy, by the way. Taylor's a messy, messy boots. He's like, what y'all talking about over there? And QT was like, Avery was just saying that she didn't have people vote for me. And she was like, it was like, that's a lie. I said I didn't vote for you. And QC was like, yes. And I said that you got other people to vote for me. And she said, I can't control who people vote for. She said, you know exactly what you did because you went around telling people all this information and they listened to you. And so you dictated how the vote was going to go. And she was like, I can't tell people how to vote. I can't make people choose. They vote how they want to. She said, but you fed them information to help them with their vote decision on who to vote for. And therefore, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear your I didn't vote for you. And she was like, I don't do things. She said, QT said, you are actually literally doing the same thing you are accusing Trey of doing. And everybody's like, who? She was like, I did not beg people to vote for you over me. She's like, you didn't have to. You just told people to vote for me and make sure I was on that wheel multiple times. You didn't have to tell people, but you are doing the exact same thing that Trey did. She said, but I didn't vote for you. She said, but you doggone made sure other people did. And I was like, you did. You did, Blanche. You did. And she was like, and she was like, well, I didn't vote for you. QT said, well, I voted for you. So no, she said, I didn't vote for my teammates. And Q said, well, I voted for mine. So, and I'm very happy with my vote. And it's like, boom, boom. It's like, okay, absolutely. So then it was Avery and Shuby's turn. It was 5 places left on the board. And Eight, she got 6 votes. Yeah. So there was 5 places left on the board, and they was like, all those places are for me because Shuby, nobody voted for Shuby at this time, and she was right. So she had a total of 6 votes on the board. Um, and it's like, and QT was like, but it wasn't like she was the only one that voted for her. QT voted for Avery. Nick voted for Avery because he was like, she's spreading rumors, and I don't want to be the only other side of that, so she can go. Lorenzo voted for Avery because, yeah, no. Uh, Kyle voted for Avery, I think. Yeah, I think Kyle voted for Avery because of the whole QT thing. So, and QT was already on the board. So, yeah. So those are what was going on. Those were the votes. Oh, and Trey voted for Avery because he same thing, mastermind. She just so we get the spinning of the wheel. The wheel is spinning. The wheel is spinning. The wheel is spinning, and that's where we are left off. That is where we are left off for episode 6 of the first spin of the double elimination. So when we come back for episode 7, I will tell you who gets eliminated. And but it's heating up. It's getting a little spicy. People are getting a little bit more intense. And this is what I wanted. I like the the light nature at the beginning of the game where everybody's just like, this is all fun and games. They're having a good time, ha ha hee hee. But it's coming down to the wire. There is no new people coming in. There's no chance of redemption. There is no any immunity. Everybody can get it. Like everybody can get it from this point on. And so I'm excited to see what happens. It's gonna be a fun ride. I'm still enjoying it. I'm enjoying this show. I like this format. It's just a fun, lighthearted show. So I enjoy it. I enjoy this cast is bringing it. They are definitely giving. They're giving. So we'll see what happens, but that is all I have for now. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to make these as quick as possible because I don't want to keep you all here all night, but I appreciate you taking the time to watch and get this information for Battle Camp. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. We are on our mission to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year, and we truly, truly appreciate you for spending the time to talk with us, or to listen to us and sit. If you want to talk with us, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think of Battle Camp. I really would love, love, love to know what you all are thinking and know your thoughts, and if you agree with me or if you don't. Are we rooting for Avery? Or are we team Avery or team QT? Let me know. Are we bad at trade or nah? Like, tell me, let me know in the comments what you think without spoiling anything. Don't spoil it for people. Just keep up with these specific episodes when you're commenting. But we are going to finish the entire season in the next couple days. So if you want to comment on the finale, that's fine. Wait till episodes 9 and 10 drop. But thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Please follow us here and all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast link and our Patreon link. Join all our Patreons and get all the fun things, and follow us on our audio podcast so you can, on the audio podcast, so you can check us out on the go. Um, Follow us at all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow me on those platforms as well. This is my Instagram right there. And then all of the ones below is TikTok and Twitter and Blue Sky. Get your merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And we're going to get out of here because I got nothing left. So cheers, you guys. Cheers. Bye.